This whole case is very, very weird. Paul Pelosi assaulted in his home in San Francisco, the one he shares with Nancy Pelosi when she's in San Francisco. Now, first things first, we want Paul Pelosi to get better, definitely. And violence is never, never the answer. But we've got questions. And right now, details are sketchy, and I do believe deliberately so. First, let's start off with how we all found out about this initially from the office of Nancy Pelosi. Number one, she said early this morning, an assailant broke into the Pelosi residence in San Francisco and violently assaulted Mr. Pelosi. All right, there's a problem with this statement, however. The police did not say that anyone broke into the Pelosi home. They conspicuously did not say that. We'll get to that in a moment. But this is a big discrepancy between what she's saying and what the police are saying so far. Next, please. The speaker and her family are grateful to the first responders and medical professionals involved and request privacy at this time. I'm sorry for what happened, but privacy at this time, you are second in line to the presidency. It's a big, high-profile job, and people want to know. Understandably so. The press conference today held by the San Francisco police was very interesting for what they said and what they did not say. We're going to play it in its entirety. Now, it's remarkably short, and they took no questions. Let's watch this together.
At approximately 2:27 this morning, San Francisco police officers were dispatched to the residence of Speaker Nancy Pelosi regarding an A-priority well-being check. When the officers arrived on scene, they encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi's husband, Paul. Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it. Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, disarmed him, took him into custody, requested emergency backup, and rendered medical aid. The suspect has been identified as 42-year-old David DePepe. Mr. Pelosi and Mr. DePepe were transported to a local hospital for treatment. This is an active investigation currently being led by the San Francisco Police Department Special Investigations Division. We are working closely with our partners from the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the U.S. Capitol Police, and our district attorney here in San Francisco County, D.A. Brooke Jenkins and her team. The motive for this attack is still being determined. Mr. DePepe will be booked at the San Francisco County Jail on the following charges: attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, burglary, and several other additional felonies.
So, what do you think? Are you impressed? That's all the information they gave. After that, it was thanking some police officers and the dispatcher and no more questions. There was a lot they did not say. Did you notice anything odd? Take a look at this.
At approximately 2:27 this morning, San Francisco police officers were dispatched to the residence of Speaker Nancy Pelosi regarding an A-priority well-being check. When the officers arrived on scene, they encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi's husband, Paul.
Okay, number one, what is an A-priority well-being check? I don't know. I know what a 911 call is. I know when a neighbor observes something. I don't know what an A-priority well-being check is. My guess is it's when somebody who's not there is worried about somebody there and makes a phone call, but they didn't explain who made the call. How did they find out about this situation? And next, police, when they arrived, they encountered an adult male and Mrs. Pelosi's husband, Paul. Doing what? What encountered? Where? Where in the house? How did they get there? What door? What room? None of this is included. Strangely, I believe. Next.
Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it.
Well, that is terrible, the violent assault, but our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. So it's one hammer, and they're both holding it. Are they struggling for it? Are they having a fight? or possibly do they each have a hammer? No, I think it's one hammer. But what's happening? You know, the New York Times and others wrongly said that they were struggling. The police officer did not say that. Words are important. He's reading from a written statement. What happened here? Next.
Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, disarmed him, took him into custody, requested emergency backup, and rendered medical aid. The suspect has been identified as 42-year-old David DePepe.
All right, great job by the cops responding, stopping the attack, getting first aid, and all that stuff. The suspect is 42-year-old David DePepe. We're guessing at the spelling. He didn't spell it for us. Didn't say where the guy is from, what he does for a living, who he is, nothing about him. That's unusual in a press conference of this nature. At least tell us something about the guy other than 42 years old. Very odd, not standard. Next.
Mr. Pelosi and Mr. DePepe were transported to a local hospital for treatment. This is an active investigation currently being led by the San Francisco Police Department Special Investigations Division. We are working closely with our partners from the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the U.S. Capitol Police, and our district attorney here in San Francisco County, D.A. Brooke Jenkins, and her team.
I got to admit, I'm a little bit nervous at this point. Who's walking around this case? The FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Capitol Police, and our district attorney. That's the same district attorney's office that Kamala Harris once headed. Will this be apolitical? Will we find out everything there is to find out about this case with this crew? I hope so, but I'm not sure. Next.
The motive for this attack is still being determined.
Well, that's interesting because before this press conference, I heard the fake news saying all kinds of things about the motive of the person involved. The motive of the attack is still being determined. Now, if what the fake news says is true, and I have my doubts, of course, because they said it before this press conference, how easy would it be for the chief to actually say this? But he doesn't. Why not? Maybe because all of this is untrue. Take a look.
I've just been told by a source who was briefed on the attack that the assailant who attacked Paul Pelosi was actually in search for the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
We have learned that the suspect was yelling, "Where is Nancy?" before and during the assault.
Before the assault occurred, according to this source, the intruder confronted Mr. Pelosi in their home, shouting, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" Debbie Dingell, that's what the intruders going through the hallways on January 6th were shouting, "Nancy, Nancy." This is part of the January 6th insurrection toxicity.
You see? The story writes itself. But the police are not telling that story. There's something else, actually, about the charges that will be filed against the suspect.
Mr. DePepe will be booked at the San Francisco County Jail on the following charges: attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, burglary, and several other additional felonies.
All right. It all makes sense, but the charge of elder abuse stood out to me. Elder abuse. This is how we commonly think of elder abuse: a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there is an expectation of trust, which causes harm or distress to an older person. Any relationship where there is an expectation of trust. Is there a pre-existing relationship? They're leaving a lot of detail out. It's a reasonable question, and they didn't say there was a break-in. By the way, that's the definition according to the World Health Organization. It does vary from state to state, the penal code, but it's all interesting, isn't it? And then they were in an awful rush to get the hell out of there.
Thank you all for being here. I know you may have, we'll update you when we get more.
Do you know how he got into the house?
That's it for right now. We're not going to take any questions. Thank you. Our office will be issuing a news release very soon, but that's it for now. Thank you.
That's it? Did you hear the question? How did the guy get in the house? They wouldn't take that question. That's pretty simple. That's a direct question. There should be a simple answer. They got the FBI, everybody crawling all over the house. They don't know that yet. Something's up, in my opinion, or maybe not. Paul Pelosi has had an eventful year, hasn't he? This is the mugshot from when he was pulled over and arrested for DWI. By the way, he's under probation for that. Let's see, they sentenced him to 5 days in jail. And yes, he's under probation for the next 2.5 years. That was just came down in August. And Paul Pelosi has had an eventful life. When he was a teenager, he was in a horrible car accident. He was at the wheel, and his brother died. Paul said he tried to slow down by shifting gears and lost control. David John Pelosi was trapped under the car driven by his brother when it flipped over on Skyline Highway a long time ago, and unfortunately his brother died that night. There's some tragedy. There's tragedy in every family, but there's a lot of money in this family. And quite frankly, with everything they've been through, I think they should start making their lives a bit easier, don't you? Let's start with, how about a full-time car and driver? How much does that cost? They're worth $250 million. $55,000, okay. How about a burglar alarm, a state-of-the-art security system? We still don't know if there was a break-in. I hope they have one of these. And if not that, they could get 24/7 armed security. Granted, that is a bit expensive, but they do have the resources. Now, Nancy Pelosi gets security 24/7, but only where she is. It doesn't extend to the family, apparently. But for the mainstream media, the January 6th comparisons and blaming the right for all of this, it's just too irresistible, no matter what the lack of facts should indicate. Take a look.
It does feel like we're living in a moment where there's two parallel campaigns. Most Americans, understandably, are focused on gas prices, on inflation. But the other campaign that's happening at the same time is our democracy is facing enormous challenges right now. A lot of this happens online. People don't really think it's that big of a deal. What happened overnight is important in this country because what's been taking place largely online moved offline into real life. There was an attempted assassination of the Speaker of the House.
Really? How does he know that? That's not what the authorities have said. But he wants to make it bigger than it is. And it would be a big deal if there was an attempted assassination against the Speaker of the House. It seems to be a bigger deal when Democrats are targeted, doesn't it? Remember when Rand Paul, the Republican from Kentucky, was attacked on his front lawn? He was beaten up real bad. Yeah, police arrest neighbor after Rand Paul is assaulted at his Kentucky home. And take a look at his injuries. I mean, this was serious. 5 broken ribs, bruised lungs. But guess what? The mainstream media and the late night comics, they thought it was cute. They thought it was funny.
The attacker? His own neighbor, 59-year-old Rene Boucher.
Rene Boucher?
Wow, that sucks. I mean, getting beaten up sucks, but getting beaten up by Rene Boucher is horrible.
Israel and Palestine is a minor dispute between neighbors. This is far more serious. We're talking rich people and their lawns.
Right? It's totally unfair. It's totally one-sided. And actually, take a look at this. You know who else was laughing? The daughter of Nancy Pelosi. That's Christine Pelosi on the left. And back then, she tweeted, Rand Paul's neighbor was right. Did you hear about that? Didn't really make news, right? Was there widespread outrage? Was there an attempted cancellation? No, because she was attacking a Republican. You know who else actually was seriously threatened? Eric Trump, the son of the president, during the campaign. Do you remember this?
This morning, Donald Trump finds his own family is now the target of threats. A threatening letter containing a suspicious white powder was sent to the Manhattan home of Eric Trump, one of the candidate's sons. The FBI, Secret Service, and the NYPD are all investigating.
Wow. Was there a call to dial down the temperature to all come together when that happened? Not at all. Or maybe the anti-Trump forces, maybe they should cool it a little bit? No. How about when that madman opened fire at that ball field in Northern Virginia? And who was on the field? A number of Republican members of Congress practicing softball. One of them was Steve Scalise. He almost died that day. And there was grave concern for him, and it was national news. But the gunman The suspect, who was actually killed by police right then and there, hated Donald Trump. Trump is a traitor. Trump has destroyed our democracy. It's time to destroy Trump and company. What else? I think he's a big fan of Bernie. I want Bernie to win the White House. Did I hear anything that Bernie supporters are a threat to democracy after this? Of course not, because they're not. I don't think that, and I don't like it when it's said about them. I don't like it when it's said about us. But this thing is weird in San Francisco. It is. To review, there was no 911 call that we know of. The motive that everyone's saying, they know the motive. The police are not saying that. And they're also saying, at least they're not saying there was a break-in. There are some interesting things that we do not know, and maybe we never will, given the way things have been going in Washington. I do know this, that Democrats are very nervous right now. You saw them huddled on the tarmac, and they're desperate. We know that. We've seen some crazy things they've done, false allegations, October surprises. I do hope that Mr. Pelosi gets better. And Nancy Pelosi, who quite frankly seemed pretty unhinged on the Sunday shows last weekend, I hope she gets some rest. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.